Hello, my name is the Bracelet One, and I wanted to do a storyline reading for. This is about the murder of Mr. Lorenzen Wright. Okay, Mr. Lorenzen Wright was a basketball player. I love basketball. And he was murdered back, let me see exactly when this was. July 28th. His wife was sentenced to 30 years for her role in the murder. Let's see. Miss Sherra Wright. Okay, let's just see. I want to say the exact year. Or was she his ex-wife at the time? Maybe she was his ex-wife. When they have stories written, they have different stuff written, so you don't know which one to go with. Let's just see. Let's see. She is denied for parole. Okay, so this year, this is 2023, so she would be 52. If her birthday haven't came yet, she would be 51. But if her birthday came, she would be 52, because this is an article from May 20, year 22. Okay, let's see. Okay. So Mr. Lorenzen Rice was a basketball player. He might have been retired, I'm not sure, but he was a basketball player. Let me just show you a picture. If I can just get one good. Here's a picture of Mr. Lorenzen Rice. When am I saying Rice? I'm so sorry, Mr. Lorenzen. Mr. Lorenzen Wright. I want to say his name right. It seems like I can't see it good on the computer. Okay, here's a basketball player. He might have been retired at the time. I just don't know. So it said he played for Cleveland on that team, and then he might have played for somebody else, but I see Cleveland on the shirt, the jersey. So the bottom line is his ex-wife, if it wasn't his wife at the time, Miss Sherry, or his wife at the time, or whichever she was, she set something up and caused him to be murdered for money, bottom line. Okay, so let's just say universe wants spiritual justice for Mr. Wright. Spiritual justice to come to Miss Sherra Wright. Get what I'm saying? The law already handling her. The law is way, but God wants spiritual. God wants her to feel, have remorse. Feel this thing. Feel this thing, Miss Wright. Feel it. The moisture of what this took from his family and from his children, from his mother who loved him when you arranged or was part of, or however this was, to get him murdered and took his life away from people who loved him, from his mother, from his children, and who all that loved him. Okay, so let's just see, because God wants spiritual justice, because so far it seems like it's no spiritual justice, because God let me see your picture come down my feed. So you one that God want me to put on my channel. That means it's not really where you feeling or whatever God wants you to be like from what you did. Because people can say they sorry, but God know deep down you're really not sorry, because if you're sorry, you wouldn't have arranged it in the first place. You wouldn't have did it. If you were sorry, you wouldn't have arranged it in the first place. Get what it's saying? God wants you to come clean. You meant to do it because you made the moves you made to make it happen. God wants you to come at his mother and say, I shouldn't have did it. I was wrong for what I did. That's the way you're supposed to come back. Don't come back saying you're sorry because you meant to do it. It's hard for people to say they're sorry when they're not sorry. People want people to say they're sorry when they meant to do something. So I'm not going to say I'm sorry to things that I meant to do because I meant to do it. Right? I'll come back and I might say, well, I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have said it that way. I shouldn't have did it that way. But I meant to do what I did, so I'm not going to say I'm sorry for what I mean to do. God know you lying because you meant to do it. People want you to lie sometimes and say you're sorry, but that's a lie. You're not sorry. They supposed to come back at you and say, well, I made the wrong choice. I shouldn't have did that. I was wrong for that. That's what it's supposed to be like. So let's just see this storyline, because it's supposed to have been for money, about money or something as far as money, getting money, anything like that. Okay, universe, you know all about it. Give me a storyline reading for Miss Sherra Wright, universe. You know all about her. Why did she feel that she would jeopardize his life and make his life seem like it was a bug on the floor, or like he is a piece of trash, and eliminate his life for money, for material things? There was no love there. There's no way she loved him, because she loved him. You don't hurt what you love, and you definitely don't kill what you love. And even if she didn't love him and he was somebody she didn't know, you shouldn't be killing anybody for anything. So, excuse my neighbors, I hear them out there making noise. Okay, so let's just see, universe, give me one from this. I'm hearing 8 and 10. Is this 8 over here, Lord, and 10 over here? So let's just flow. Abuse cards is when you abuse somebody, and healing of the soul is when you hurt someone to the core and you murder someone. So I hear 8 and 10 is coming, so I'm going this way with 8, universe. If this ain't the right ones, God, let it be with the storyline. Don't get uploaded. That'll let me know you want me to switch it. But that's what I'm seeing in my mind, so I'm going that direction. 8 and 10. 10 is on the floor. I have to get that, but let me just flow over here so I can pick up the right ones. 8. Okay, let me see. 8. That's 9. Bear with me, because I got a lot of cards. Okay, 8. Here's 8. Here we go, hiding from me. Maybe you was hiding some kind of way. Maybe you was in hiding. Maybe you was hiding. He didn't see you at first, or some kind of hiding was happening during this ordeal. Sneaky hiding. Okay, let's just flow. Number 10. Let me get 10 down here. Okay, let's see. Number 10, where are you? 10? Do I have a 10 down here, Lord? Do I have a 10 on the floor? Okay, they don't have a number on them, Lord. So no numbers on these. I mixed all my cards up. Shucks. So I gotta let God just guide me to the right one. Bear with me for a minute. Which one is 10, Lord? Which one of these is 10? Which one is 10, Lord? Okay. I'm gonna take this one. Why? Because you did reside in front of a judge. So I'm going to take this as number 10 because I don't see the numbers on top. See this right here? I'm going to say this is number 10 because you did reside in front of a judge, right? And then we can say this is Mr. Lorenzen, follow me, Doc Holliday in the spirit. The judge did well by denying your bond because you needed to elevate yourself and rely on your own self. Follow me? Okay, let's just flow. Let's take this as yours. Let's just say this would be, that would be 10 and this would be 8. Let's flow. Let's see what the first card. Okay, let's just see. You looked at him as tender and sissified, or you treated him that way with that situation. Shortly, you was going to be going to another city or state. That was the last time that God said you was going to show the lack of love toward Mr. Lorenzen. I want to say his name right. Lorenzen. Or I can just call him Mr.Wright. Maybe I can say Mr.Wright. I don't want to say his name wrong the whole video. Toward Mr.Wright. Or you felt he is going to show toward you. Okay, it says right here that somebody facilitated something. And you shouldn't have went with it. Or you facilitated something and somebody shouldn't have went along with it. You might have facilitated something and Mr. Wright went along with it. Something like that. It says right here, you made a choice about your home, the campground. Follow me. Let's just flow. Okay, we have right here, you reside in front of a judge and you got all tensed up. Tell her, this would be Mr. Wright, Mr. Lorenzen. Tell her, mention me. Lorenzen, right? Life itself was a jigsaw puzzle, right? We dealing with TV, portal, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. She's on, he's on. She's going to do what make her feel better, make her feel good. Look, this Mr. Lorenzen. She has spent watching while somebody X'd him out. Listen at him, okay? She is filling her time wherever they live, right? Follow me? She looking at nobody's perfect because the ex wasn't for her. Deep. She didn't have romance with him in a long time. Follow me? Okay, let's just flow. I see the God card. God needed to intervene. God needed to intervene. Look at this. Look at this. God know these people. Look. It was a mastermind. And the mastermind was Ms. Wright that created a shockwave for Mr. Wright. God needed to intervene. God. She might have a son that's Aquarius, act like an Aquarius. She could be Aquarius. Somebody has an Aquarius son or somebody is an Aquarius that's in the equation of these people or act like it. That she proud of, right? We have right here that God needed to intervene. But God probably was trying to intervene, but when you have people who really determined to do whatever it is, they don't want to hear from God. That means they working for the devil at the time. So they don't want to hear nothing God has to say. They don't see nothing good. They don't want to hear nothing good. Okay, universe, this is for Mr. Lorenzen Wright and Miss Sherra Wright. Okay, let's just flow. Because God wants spiritual justice for Mr. Lorenzen Wright. She might have went to jail, but God wants spiritual justice. Because she is not really feeling that she really did a bunch wrong. Okay. Very noisy, I meant to say. I see the princess card on here, and the princess card would be his mother, because his princess would be his mother. Because his mother stayed on it like a gas guzzler. His mother was going to fight for him to the end. No doubt about that thing. His princess wasn't Mrs. Wright, Miss Wright or whatever, his ex-wife or wife or whoever she was. Okay, let's draw here. She was hope struck, trying to get money. She was hope struck. Okay, let's just flow. But God wants spiritual justice with Miss Wright, Mrs. Wright, or Miss Wright. Because the judge might have did whatever the judge did, but, you know, God's spiritual justice that needs to be answered, Mrs. Wright or Miss Wright, whichever you are. Because God wants remorse from you. God wants true remorse from you. And you to really go in or send a letter, whatever you got to do, to his mother. Not say you sorry, because you meant to do what you said. So you sorry just releases yourself to make you feel better. You don't. People think that somebody saying they sorry means a bunch, but really, you want that don't mean a bunch, because a person, you shouldn't want I'm sorry from somebody who mean to do whatever it is, because it's a lie. You don't want a lie from them. You want them to say, I shouldn't have did it. I was wrong for what I did. That's what I want from somebody. You know, I don't want you to lie to me and say you sorry, because you already meant to do what you meant to do, and you showed it with your actions. Somebody facilitated something. She did, right, to Mr. Wright, and he shouldn't have went along with it. Wherever she told him to meet or whatever. Or somebody else. She told somebody something and facilitated something, and that man she is connected to shouldn't have went along with her. However it's flowing. Okay, where's his princess? So let's just flow right here. This going to have to be, I guess, his wife for right now. We got to call her the princess for a minute, because I see the killing card right here. So where's his princess so he could win? So I don't know if she said something about she was going to work things out with him, because it's got the win card. Yeah. So she must have said something about working things out, because it says somebody facilitated something and he shouldn't have went. That means Mrs. Wright did, Miss Wright, or whichever one she is. Where is his princess so he could win? So he was going to go to where she was to win, to work something out or whatever. She checked the time and mentioned the time to him, and he went. Get what it's saying? Okay, she is fence watching while somebody X'd him out. God know this lady and know him. Okay, life is real life, Miss Wright. This is not raisins and lollipops. You can't get his life back, right? She was the common denominator, Miss Wright, in this whole thing, right? If you change your identity, it won't work with your twin. So she changed her identity. It won't work with her twin. So her twin would be, at the time, her twin would be, I guess, whoever her husband was. But some kind of way, maybe change her identity. Let me see the next card. Oh, it got a lesbian card behind it. Let me see something. So I'm trying to see. Let me see something. Let me just see how this going. This shouldn't be jail yet. Jail. None of this is jail yet. So this still on the outside. So let me just see something for a minute. Change your identity. It won't work with your twin. So I don't know what she was doing. Okay. She was a common denominator. Okay. If you met him gay or her lesbian, you can feel your God's mission. Silly me to think that I could fool you. So maybe some kind of way she was lesbian or something like that. Anything like that. Right? Okay. Maybe he made a gesture and she thought it was buffoonery. Follow me? Because the last time for the lack of love from him to her. Anything like that? Okay. This is where we got a box. She in a box right now, or a room, a cell. Or she decided she gonna put him in a box. That's the casket. Follow me? Okay. It says right here that she was she needed to just leave because a man was unhealthy for her. So she needed to just leave if her, Mr. Wright was unhealthy for her, and I think they were separated, right? Okay, it says right here, shortly she is going to be going to another city or state in the field. They didn't live together, no kind of way, I don't think. Dealing with the portal, the television, FaceTime, Facebook, or anything like that. So we have right here that she is going to do what make her feel better and feel good. That was her plan, because she wanted her needs met. But God said that was abuse, wanting her needs met. The next one is that she thought something was unjust, or she was going to be dealing with something unjust and was going to be going to court because she is focused on making a choice as far as the campground to her house where she lived at. So she wanted sensitivity and tenderness from Mr.Wright, or she wanted it from the court system. Okay, she nervous about a place, some relaxation place, whatever it is, job, house, whatever this is, right? Could be jail, but that usually don't be the jail part, but whatever it is right now, I gotta see. I wonder who I look like. Why did my mother give me up so some kind of way? We dealing with either the person she's connected to some kind of way, who did the killing. He don't know his mother, don't know who he look like, or her, something as far as her and her mother, maybe the relationship with her mother, anything like that. She made a choice about going to another state, or she was going to, right? Okay, life itself was like a jigsaw puzzle to her some kind of way. So it says right here, this would be for Mr. Wright, Mr. Lorenzen Wright. Mention me, the brass loved one. Tell Sherry, right? Cause she feeling what city did I say that they was in? Let me just see for a minute. Okay, Mr. Lorenzen, I hear you. Let's see. Let me see what city. What city? Oh, what's a new city? What's the city you want?
Sherra Wright will be spending at least 5.
I'm just trying to see the actual city. I don't know. Trying to see something that says the city, but right now I'm not seeing nothing that say the city. Okay, I don't know what I said at the beginning, but I gotta say, wherever she lived or he lived. Oh, I say Memphis. A wooded area in Memphis. So evidently it was in Memphis. So because I needed to say something for this card. I can't say Austin if that's. So they was in Memphis. So here's Mr. Wright. Mention me, Lorenzen. Tell her, Sherry, Ms. Wright. He is feeling Memphis. And Miss Wright created a shockwave for him. Follow me? Next card is seemingly something became a mountain to Mr. Wright. Follow me? She is treating him tender and sissified. Or expecting that, right? Because she didn't have romance in a long time from him, right? She was hope struck. Follow me? How much and how far would she go to grow to get money? Get what I'm saying? Because she was hope struck. Follow me? Next one is he in the spirit, Doc Holliday, Mr. Lorenzen. He is right here. Okay. Black is beautiful. So some kind of way, maybe some kind of racial stuff came about, or he just was black and he was beautiful, or she felt she was beautiful. Maybe he liked music, or she did, or maybe music was playing, I don't know. So it says right here, this is me, the brass loved one. I am the light. Mention us. Mention Mr. Lorenzen Wright and anybody like him where people murder you for money. For no nonsense reasons. Take your life away. Okay, so we have right here, find out why he stuck with it so long, or she stuck with it so long. Addictions play a part in soul breaking. So some kind of way he had some kind of addiction, whatever addiction he had. Anything can be an addiction, whatever it is. Or she had some kind of addiction, whatever it might be. I just don't know. I can't tell you. Okay, here's God coming in to intervene. God had to intervene to stop this from happening. This setup, this shockwave for Mr. Wright. Right? But nobody was hearing God. Her or the rifleman, whoever it was, the gunman, wasn't hearing God. Follow me? Because Mr. Wright didn't see this coming. It was a shockwave. Somebody is an Aquarius, one of these people, or got a son that's an Aquarius, anything like that. That be proud of, right? So it says right here that she's going to feel her feelings because they was her feelings. And her feelings was to get this job done, to make this happen. Because she wanted money going off her, growing and getting money because she is hope struck. She is going to go get it because she felt like it was hers, right? Making this happen, right? She is going to be genuine. And she was absorbing to see if he was genuine, would he come? Follow me? She is being free to make her own decisions. God says nobody pushed her or made her do it. Why do or if she allow others to dictate her religion? So she a person that's really not a godly person, a church person, or anything like that. Follow me? So it says right here we got number 1. Something could have been October the 3rd, March the 1st, the 13th, the 31st, the 10th, the 1st of a month, or anything like that. Or just part of anything from a door number, badge number, part of a social, phone number, address, could be anything. Follow me, license. It could be part of anything, amount of money. But God says that I did well, you did well, the brass loved one. But she also felt like she did well, accomplishing what she accomplished right there with that situation. But she resided in front of a judge where it made her get tensed up. Follow me? About all of it, what she done. And it says she had to rely on herself, God says, to elevate her own self and not kill Mr.Wright to elevate herself and get her money. Okay, it says that I give up on this fake love. She decided to give up on the fake love because she felt like the love she had for Mr. Wright and he had for her was fake. It wasn't real. It wasn't good. It really wasn't the kind of love she wanted. And abuse shows that it was fake love. So I don't know if any abuse was in their relationship, or she showed abuse on her side by getting somebody to murder him. So I don't know what he did on his side. Follow me? The next one is nobody is perfect. So she feel nobody is perfect. You know, mistakes happen. Follow me? Because her ex wasn't for her, and she looked at her ex wasn't for her. Follow me? Nobody perfect. So we have right here being adopted and finding my parents. So if she had her actual parents, she didn't have the motherly love like she's supposed to have from her mother if she actually grew up with her mother. If not, she's adopted or raised by somebody else where it kind of damaged her. Well, finding my parents matter. Or this can actually just go with her kids. I don't know when she went and how young they was. This could go with her kids. Being adopted mean that her children had to be raised by somebody else, right? If her children was young, where they still needed their mother, they got raised by somebody else. And that would make it they being adopted. Not real adoption, but they being adopted because somebody else taking the role of their mother. Or finding my mother even matter because their mother is in jail, incarcerated. Follow me? Anything like that? Or she in jail, and being in jail, she adopted because they like her caregivers. Follow me? And she don't know who her parents is, right? If it's like that, don't have to be that she don't know, but in case it is, then that's the bottom line. So far, I don't see no kind of remorse cards or nothing like that, say, where she remorseful. But if she give up on the fake love and she ain't want her husband no more, she just need to leave her husband where he was. Why you gonna sit and try to get his money? My thing is when people say they finished with people or whatever, they still trying to get people money. You got people who they don't want to get a divorce with somebody and pay child support. They'll kill the wife first so they won't pay child support. They won't have to pay the lady spousal support. All kind of nonsense. I mean, go about your business. If you don't want somebody, go about your business. Don't try to get money from him or get money out of him. You feel he worthless, but you want money out of him. Well, he worthless. Let me just cook up a scheme and get money off of him. He worthless. You ain't think about his children love their father. They want their father. You looked at your own selfish reasons, you and his relationship. So if it's over, you should have went about your business and got a job somewhere. You know, but it was fake love. But he didn't know you hated him that much because he wouldn't have walked into that trap. He wouldn't have walked into that trap. If he knew you hated him like you hated him, and you showed you hated him by setting him up with this shockwave, what this card say, you're a mastermind, and you set that thing up to the T. That's the mastermind. You set it up to the very second. He did not know that you hated him like that. And that's a shame, really. That you hated him like that. That you would get him killed knowing that he is your children's father. You ain't care about your children even having that father. Your selfishness, pure selfishness. You didn't even care if your children had that father. That is some pure hatred. You have a cold heart. And God gonna handle your heart. God gonna handle that heart before you leave this earth. God gonna handle that heart. God gonna handle that heart. Because the judge put you in jail, but God gonna have to handle you over on the other side. Spiritually. God gonna handle you spiritually, because I don't see no repentant card, no card in this set that shows that you sorry or anything. Because it says his princess. And in this storyline, it could be, where's his princess? At the time he was wounded, he could have been, he could have been, if he was going into like transitioning, he could have been wondering where's his princess. And that the princess would be his mother, follow me? Because most of the time when people hurt and all, they call for God and they call for their mother, most people. Most people call for their mother and God. Or he might have wondered where you was at the time. Because you might have hated him, but I feel he didn't hate you. Because this card say princess. Get what I'm saying? So you might have hated him with a passion, but he didn't hate you. Because it say princess. Get what I'm saying? That's sad. Really sad. For people to be so vicious. But God gonna handle their heart. God is gonna handle their heart. Either you got a son that you proud of, one of your sons. Might be Aquarius, act like an Aquarius. Maybe you're Aquarius. Somebody around you is an Aquarius. Act like an Aquarius. But you got a son that you're proud of out of the sons you have. Or his mother was proud of him. His mother could be Aquarius. He could be one. He could act like one. His mother could act like one. Or his mother just was proud of him. Her son. And his mother put all the feelings in that she could put in. And she is going to go get you. Get what I'm saying? She put all her feelings in. She's feeling her feelings. She is going to go get you. To elevate herself. She's going to rely on herself. What? To go get you. Get what I'm saying? Put those feelings in because it was abuse. And it proved that it was abuse. And it was fake love for her son. And here he is. Mr. Lorenzen Wright. Showing up in his storyline. That's Mr. Lorenzen Wright. That's right, Mr. Wright. Show up in your storyline. Make your presence known. She might have diminished you and took your body away. But you here in spirit. And he's a card right here that stands for him. He didn't absorb to see if you was genuine, that you was going to be nice, that you was going to be kind. He had no idea that you was going to go against him like that. Because you looked at your ex wasn't for you and you just wanted to win. And you just had your mind set like that. But God going to deal with you, Ms. Wright. Because you got a cold heart. A cold heart. That was one of the coldest hearts. There's so many cold hearts. But you got one of the coldest hearts. And God going to deal with that heart before you leave here. So, yeah, because you wanted to win. It's back, see? Here you are again. You wanted to win. Yeah. Deep. Okay, this is for Miss Sherra Wright. That's serving 30 years. For the murder of either her ex-husband or husband or ex-husband, whichever one it is, because the write-up on there make it seem like you married, and then some make it seem like you not. So whichever one it is, ex or ex-husband or husband, whichever one it is, you in jail for it. Because what? You wanted to win, like the card says. And it was the last time you felt for the lack of love from him. If you had any kind of negative coming from him at any other time, you decided you was going to win this time. Get what I'm saying? And that's what you set out to do. Right? Because you made a gesture. Right? because you was tired of any kind of buffoonery out of him, right? And you made a gesture. Whatever gesture you made, whatever you said to him, right? And that's what happened. Okay. So, yeah. This is for Miss Sherra Wright, that's in jail for the murder of Mr. Lorenzen Wright, the father of her children that she had brutally murdered for his insurance money. And she showed the lack of love for him, that she actually hated his guts, because that's what it proves, that she hated his guts. When in this storyline, he's saying that she is his princess. So deep down, she is his princess if he didn't say it on the surface. But she hated him for whatever reason, but he didn't even know it. He thought he was going to win and things was going to go okay with those two maybe. But then she had a whole nother plan. She is a mastermind and she set this thing up. She ain't caring about her children having their father. I don't know how selfish you could be to take your children's father from them. That's a selfish heart, selfish period. But God gonna deal with you spiritually in this time right now, because God let me see your picture go down my timeline. So that meant I had to put you on my channel. This is for Miss Sherra Wright.